Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the 2019 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Championships. We're in Pool B action today with 10 competitors trying to claim only 5 spots in the final round. We have 2 disciplines remaining, the underhand chop, as it's often called, the fickle mistress known as the hot saw. There are your 10 competitors as they stand in STIHL overall points after 4 events, and today we'll know exactly who is headed to the finals from this group. We'll get it all started with the underhand chop.
Don't blink in the underhand chop. This is one of the fastest events in timber sports. The elite athletes will be hitting the log in less than 1 second per hit. They will chop the front half of the log using their $700 axe. After they cut the front half of the log, the transition to the back is seamless. In less than 1 second, the axe is into the back side of the log. A 2-and-2 pattern, removing the chips. Then when you get close to the center, you have to be confident. Using precision, accuracy, power, you will drive the log off. Seems dangerous, right? It's actually one of the safest events. And yes, they are wearing a chainmail sock protection underneath their shoes.
It is a very, very important discipline here. 2 guys in very critical positions right here. 4th place, Matthew Marks in the foreground. 5th place, Mel Lentz. The legend trying to hang in there in the top 5. Join his son in the top 10.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
I've got a lot of confidence in Matt Marks and his underhand ability, but he's drawn a tough dance partner here. And the fact that these guys are literally looking at each other from either side of the bubble is, Mel's coming out swinging. Let's just put it that way. Mel's looking to drive, maybe a little premature. He's going, there it is. Watch these guys going head-to-head, side-by-side, in sync through the first 4 hits. By the time we get into the 5th and 6th hit, Lentz is pulling ahead, just a little more swing speed, and he just got more done on the front side of that log. Knew he had the work done on the front, drives off the bottom.
Well, the legend Mel Lentz has laid down a respectable time, 20.95. Matthew Marks struggled a bit, the 27.37. Here we go. Heat number 2 with David Moses and Walt Page. Walt Page sitting in 3rd place while David Moses has some work to do. He's down in 8th place.
Go!
I always think it's interesting when guys out of the same region are matched up head-to-head like this. Both David Moses and Walt Page battle against each other all up and down the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. And here they are, thousands of miles from home, and they're going at it once again on the biggest stage in the sport. Walt Page, a beautiful clean cut. He's got to get to that bottom wood, hangs the axe, there he goes, finds it, discharges that block completely. The dog's flying out of the far side of it. Head Judge Rich Hallett is going back and taking a look at something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Stand 1, DQ, cut, foot, hold. Stand 2, good cut.
Well, there we go, Tommy. We said we hadn't seen one in a while. We almost had one in Pool A.
Very close.
That one's in the guts. That's good. There it is. It was that 3rd hit. So he's just kind of unsettled. Punches it once in the guts, comes back and corrects it, and it's that 3rd hit in the backside that he comes through. There is no gray area there. You cut it or you didn't.
So the DQ for David Moses, and Walt Page's time, 21.87, so he did not manage to overtake our leader, Mel Lentz, standing on top with 20.95. Matthew Marks in 3rd. 3 more heats to go, and Matt Slingerland comes into the underhand tied for the top spot with Matthew Cogar. Championship overall points going up against Josh Wilson. Josh coming in here in 6th place, first man out.
To your timber.
So he's got work to do.
3, 2, 1, go!
And wait for the swing speed from both of these competitors. They are just gonna pepper the face of these logs with hits. And here goes Matty. He just turned it up a notch. Oh, and Matt Slingerland is very close to a foothold cut over there too. These guys are really pushing the envelope on these turns, and they're losing the accuracy. There it is, Matt Slingerland looking like he's gonna be well sub 20 seconds in his underhand. I'm not sure if it'll show up well in slow motion, but Matty Slingerland got the front of that block open and then kicked it into another gear. That's when the speed came out. It almost bit him though when he made the turn, because a lot like David Moses, he got a little wild on it, It was getting dangerously close to that foothold. Rich Hallett took a look. He said it's a clean cut, no problems.
A little critique from Dad there, maybe rehashing the way it went down. Very good cut with 2 more heats left to go in Underhand.
I got greedy. Yeah, power of the mullet, that's right. No, I think I had a pretty good front, but got a little overzealous in the back and tried to drive too much wood, and I just should have cut a little safer and smarter today, but we'll improve on that. So on to hot top.
A great start to the underhand chop for Matt Slingerland, more than a second faster than second place Josh Wilson. When we return, we'll have 2 heats left in the underhand. We'll see if anyone can top that fantastic time laid down by Slingerland.
STIHL Timber Sports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timber Sports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee for the 2019 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Championships. We're halfway through the underhand chop, and Matt Slingerland is currently the man to beat, but we've got some big names coming up in these last 2 heats. Here we go. On the left is Mike Esch. Mike Esch having a hard time of it tonight. He's in 10th place as it stands right now with just two disciplines left to go, and Trevor Beaudry, not much of a better story for him. He's in 9th.
2 really, really exceptional underhand cutters. I can't wait to see how this one sorts out.
Athletes ready.
I was trying to pick a favorite this heat, and I don't know. I'm a little worried that Trevor Beaudry's going to be bringing a little bit too much frustration to the game after back-to-back years of single buck defeat and disaster, really. Beaudry's around quick. Boy, that axe is liking that block, though. Look at the penetration he got in those opening blows. He's got to get down to that bottom, though.
Wow.
There it is.
Not bad.
Look at the windup from Mike Esch on the far side, reaching way straight up over his head, sucking that axe down into the block. In the end, it was no match for Beaudry. Big chips falling out of that chunk of white pine. Great turn. Took just that split second to line up, and those first 2 hits paid off for him.
Trevor Beaudry had a little upturn in his results right there for sure. Not good enough to overtake Matt Slingerland, though. 19.87 for Trevor Beaudry puts him in 2nd place. Mike Esch, 21.75. He stands in 5th. These 2 big guys back at it again in the same heat. Mark Boquin, winner of the standing block, and Matthew Cogar,
to your timber.
defending champion.
3, 2, 1, go!
Love that big opening swing from both these guys, especially Matt Cogar stands exceptionally tall. Trevor Boquin is around already. I'm wondering if he took out a loan on the front side of that block. Things are getting a little wild on the backside for Boquin. You got to settle it down. Well, there it is. He got a little bit ahead of himself. Both these guys with exceptional times. Matt Cogar just showing how you do it clean, how you do it right.
That fast performance is our John Deere power play. Nothing runs like a deer.
There you go. We got the winner. You got to have bounce back ability. That's what makes you Matt Cogar. Talk about it.
No, that's it. He put up a good cut, and I just missed a lot on mine, and still ended up being a decent cut for what I had to do. And just coming into this underhand, I was like, well, this is really good wood, and just try to put the best foot on it. And actually, I think I stubbed my toe on there on the turn, so it kind of slowed me up a bit. But it was just, I kind of bounced back from him. I'm like, all right, just keep going. And it was just soft enough, and I just kept going, and it come off, and it was like a good time, so it was great.
Hot saw is on the way. There are your official times in the underhand chop. 1st place, big win for Matthew Cogar, 15.29. Mark Boquin, 2nd place, 17.15. That was a heck of a heat. Matt Slingerland hanging in there in 3rd. Trevor Beaudry and Josh Wilson in the top 5 there. There's the overall points right there, and your defending champ is back on top. And a tie for 5th and 6th place, Mel Lentz and Josh Wilson. That's the important spot right there. You got to be in the top 5. We got to settle it with the hot saw. We'll be right back.
Those are big STIHL points right there.
STIHL Timber Sports semifinal round U.S. Championship. We're providing a lot of the noise here because the hot saw is all we have left for these 10 competitors. Only the top 5 will advance. Join the top 5 who came in from Pool A. About to crank up the big ones, the hot saws. To tell us more about our next event, here's Dave Jewett with the Duluth Trading Company Discipline Review.
Loudest and fastest event in timber sports. These are the Frankensteins of the saw world. This is the hot saw. Once the competitors bring their saws up on stage, they have an 18-inch log in front of them. Now they are allowed a 60-second warm-up. Why? These saws are 250 to 350 cc engines. Since this is the final event, the competitors can no longer hold back. Hands on top of the wood. They wait for the go. On go, they must start the saw, pick it up, full throttle into the wood in around 1 second, severing that 18-inch log with a 200-mile-an-hour chain speed. A seamless transition into the upcut. Once again, feeling that 60-horsepower engine, then going into the third cut, hopefully dropping 3 clean discs in around 6 seconds, getting major points.
Mel Lentz, as we just mentioned, 5th place. Mel Lentz and Josh Wilson going to have to battle it out. Mel's got to get the better of him on this one for sure. And he'd be going up against Walt Page. Walt's in good shape, 3rd place, but he's far behind our 2 leaders, 1 and 2, Cogar and Slingerland. Walt Page not out of the woods yet by any means.
Both these guys with their hands on the saw, they're both waiting to turn the fuel
Athletes
on.
ready.
Stand to your timber. 3,
we see first
2,
Mel, then
1,
Walt.
Go!
Trouble for Mel Lentz on stand number 2. Double trouble for Mel Lentz on stand number 2. Oh, this is not what Mel Lentz needed, and this is exactly what Josh Wilson needed.
Oh.
Well, there it is, the best effort you could muster at that point. I believe 3 cuts on the deck. Walt Page will have to wait for a ruling on his side. Yeah, so the saw, or the starter handles fell off the side of the saw, and then I believe he was just out for blood, throws it into the block, gets up into the heavy part, and the saw was just starved for fuel. I don't know if that was over-aggression on Mel's part or a mechanical issue on the saw's part.
Walt Page's official time, an 8.728, and to Mel's credit, he went back in there, got it done, did receive a time, 21.79. So it beats a DQ for sure. Oh, had a great effort tonight. Had some very fine performances, and he's disappointed. A lot of his fans, many fans, so many fans out in the audience here tonight. But as you say, Kevin, all hope is not lost.
No.
Anything can happen. Something
Just
has already happened.
Ask Cassidy Shear
absolutely
about being in that exact same situation.
Here we go with heat number 2. That's going to be Matt Slingerland, 2nd place currently.
30 seconds.
Overall championship points. And Mark Boken, hats off to Mark Boken at one point down in 10th place. Now sitting in the top 5. At this moment, he's 4th place.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Little hesitation from Boken.
Oh, wow.
Boy. Well, this presents a situation, Tommy.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to Matt Slingerland. That could matter a lot to Mel Lentz.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that was an example of Matt Slingerland just going for it, treating it like it's championship Saturday. Now here's the thing, that doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
No.
When you go for it.
You were singing the praises of guys who did earlier, but they got 3 cuts,
Yeah.
It's a big difference when it doesn't work out.
DQ, stand 1, incomplete disc. Stand 2, cut is good.
And that's going to be the best time so far, 7.72 for Boken. So he holds the lead right now in the hot saw with only 2 heats completed, 3 more to go.
Well, there it is, Tommy, in black and white. The difference between a DQ and Mel Lentz sticking with it and pulling out that 3rd cut, it's a time. It's something.
Yeah.
It's going to be more points than Matt Slingerland will get.
Yep.
So that's a point not just to gloss over, too, but Josh Wilson is watching all of this play out. Good, bad, or indifferent.
No.
He's going to know exactly what the cards are in front of him, what he needs to do and not do.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Mike Ash quick to the block, but a big, huge disc. Oh, he may have just erased that line. Trouble on stand number 1 for Mike Ash. He was up quick, but a very aggressive first cut. Here's a look at that run from Mike Ash. Up quick, but crooked and heavy. I think the stage shook when that cookie hit the deck. And he tries to steer this last one in.
See if you can tell. It looks like he may, I think he may have erased that.
DQ, stand 1, cut line. Stand 2, cut is good.
First cut, boy, that's a thin one. I think that's what David Baby was a little, oh my gosh. And he follows it up with another thin one. Look at the shove from David Moses. Almost stalls the saw out, has to lay off a bit.
David Moses' time officially good enough to take over the top spot. Mark Boquin, second place, Walt Page in third. And it's all going to come down to the last 2 heats. When we return, we'll finish up the hot saw. Find out who will advance from Pool B to the finals of the 2019 STIHL U.S. Championships. Be right back.
David Moses, a blistering cut.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee for the STIHL U.S. Championships. Pool B, it all comes down to these last 2 heats of the hot saw. There you see it, Mel Lentz and Josh Wilson tied for 5th place, and only the top 5 will advance to the finals. Let's see how this plays out. You're wondering where you left your hipster repellent. Maybe it was on the saw bar there.
Trevor Beaudry's got it.
Yeah, he's got it. Matt Marks and Trevor Beaudry teeing it up right here, coming into this 8th and 7th place. 8th for Beaudry, Matt Marks in 7th place. So started out this discipline 2 points out of that tie for the cut line there.
I can't say he's out yet. He had an exceptional run in his qualifier.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Virtually synchronized cutting up to that 3rd cut. Matt Marks had to just back off a touch to steer it in for that 3rd one.
First glance, it looked like both good cuts as well.
Both these guys settle in, wait for that go signal. There it is, quick and clean into the block for both of these guys. Beaudry getting shoved around a little bit, really gets up over that saw for that 3rd cut, whereas Matt Marks had to just kind of back off half a peg in to win on that 1st cut. Then a big old slab. This is where we just gotta kind of steer it through a little bit.
You ran it like a champion. How'd it go?
You know, I've had a up and down day, and going in, I knew I needed to just put a good cut down. Safe start, got into it, and just ripped off 3 cuts, and the saw ran great. And
An absolute beautiful cut.
yeah, they were looking at a disc, but that was because it launched into the screen and broke some pieces off.
Trevor Beaudry may have salvaged this day. Some tough going early on, coming on strong at the last for sure. Dave Jewett said, we just got to sit back and watch, see what transpires in these final heat of the hot saw.
Final and probably the biggest, most important, I don't know. This is a deciding moment for Josh Wilson.
Absolutely. Matt Cogar, you got to figure much way for him to fall out of it. Josh Wilson, boy, he controls his own fate right here, that's for sure. Yeah.
Just got to post
Athletes
a solid
ready.
time faster than what,
Stand
22
to your
seconds.
timber.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh boy, but he's going for it. He is thick on that first one. Oh,
man,
there may
I'm
not
telling
be
you.
a line there.
He looks disappointed. I think he did it. I think he cut through. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Man, oh, man. The hot saw.
We want to know who. Rich is reaching for it.
Oh, boy.
Mel Lentz is on the. Oh, come on, guys. Really? Ah.
Oh, boy. Gets pretty thick here now.
Wow.
Man, oh, man.
Well, I don't have my abacus out right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
But with a DQ, I say a 21-7-9-7 of Mel Lentz trumps a DQ.
Yep. Well, that means one thing. Mel Lentz has a feeling that it may mean that he has found his way back in. Well, there's your hot saw results, and Matthew Cogar, with a very fast cut, has set a new U.S. record in the hot saw, 5.02. Josh Wilson, with that DQ, has possibly opened the door for the legend Mel Lentz to make it into our top 5. But we'll have to wait and see how the overall scores tally up. There they are. There are the 5 on top, the top 5, Matthew Cogar, Matt Slingerland, Walt Page, Mark Boquin, Matthew Marks. They will go on. Congratulations to our Pool B finalists. It will be a little disappointment for Mel Lentz, but he put on quite a show today. That'll do it for Pool B here at the 2019 STIHL U.S. Championships. Join us next time as our 10 finalists combine and compete to be crowned the 2019 STIHL Timbersports U.S. Champion. We'll see you then.